Everyone, my name is Madanmohan Rao, Research Director of Your Story Media. We just finished a very interesting hackathon here. Hackathon is a time-bound activity which brings together technology, business and social entrepreneurs to look at, in the next 2.5 days, what product or service can we roll out with a good benefit for society. The theme today was on education, what kinds of educational tools are possible to bring educational skills, mentors and so on to the unreached in an affordable, accessible and sustainable manner.
Techies looking at how technology can play a social role.
Yes, that's right. There are three kinds of hackathons in general. One is a tech hackathon, which is what can we do with this new technology, what are some new architectures we can create with it and so on. The second kind is technology for business. Using this technology, how can I make shopping better, how can I make more money from music and these kinds of things. And the third kind of hackathon, what we had today, is using technology, can you build a sustainable model which can also have a good social impact. So it's tech and business and social.
The criticism has been that Indian tech skills are not used in India and not used for the people who need it the most.
Yes. For example, a lot of the BPO wave, business process outsourcing, a lot of the early IT services industries were looking at how to serve businesses globally out of India, which means how can US, European and Japanese companies save costs by doing business out of India. That was one phase of entrepreneurship. Today we're seeing a lot of technology being applied to India itself. So instead of looking at global problems only, let us look at using technology for local solutions.
And bottom of the pyramid where it's needed the most, that kind
absolutely,
of thing.
Yeah. So today we're seeing digital going to places it never used to go before. In the era of the landline internet, the internet went only to the cities and the smaller towns and so on. But a lot of the smaller towns and villages were completely missed out of the digital wave. Today, mobile is taking the internet to places which it has never been before.
But are techies also changing in their attitudes? I mean, do they feel that they have a need to fill in a social role? Are they a different lot from what they were 20 years back?
Yes, they are. I would say 20 years back, also they felt they need to do something locally and socially, but because the technology channels, the ecosystem players were not there, it was very hard for them to do it. There were a few in that era. For example, the Deshpande Foundation used to bring a lot of IT to villages, community centers and so on. Like that, there were many other examples in India, but you could count them on the fingers of one hand. Today, thanks to places like this makerspace, there are co-working spaces all over the big cities in India now, and people can come together and discuss ideas and celebrate new kinds of innovations for the sake of the masses, not just for the elite. So it's okay to make rich people richer and use technology for urban people to shop better things and the latest jeans and whatnot. But the great challenge, the great opportunity, the great joy is bringing the fruits of technology to those who never had access to this technology before and bringing about a real transformation in their lives.
A few examples of case studies from today, very quickly.
Some examples are villages where farmers can now get information about crops or about insects.
Today?
Yes. Okay.
So
farmers can take a photograph of some insect. There's a Kisan portal by, for example, IIT Bombay and various other education institutes. Farmers can upload images of plants with disease and experts will tell them what kind of solution they can do. The second one is these various initiatives from eye care and ear care hospitals where you can mount a device onto a phone, you can scan somebody's eye and remotely send it to a doctor who will say, this person needs a cataract operation within 2 months. So in sectors like healthcare, it is making a difference through telemedicine by connecting remote healthcare workers with patients and urban-based city centers with medical experts. So I would say e-health is one big area where we already are seeing a lot of these impacts. And the second one is the more mundane sort of entertainment kind of things. We should not also forget that the internet and mobile is opening up all kinds of entertainment options, not just global entertainment, but even local. You can capture local folk music, local tunes, ethnic folk music, etc. on the mobile phone and get people to share this.
A lot of talk on education also in this evening session.
Yeah. The challenge with education in India has been, if you really want to make a huge impact in education, you have to go to the curriculum system, which means through government. But it's very hard to change the curriculum, make it much more updated, interactive, etc. So you find a lot of solutions hovering around the curriculum concept. So, for example, test preparation. That's a huge area where parents will pay to get the kids to get better results in the exams. That's one. Second is extracurricular activities for building soft skills in students. This is another very hot, big area. The third is sort of the Uber matchmaking platform. I'm a tutor. There's a student out there. Can you matchmake these kinds of tutors to students, mentors to students, and so on? So these are 3-4 areas where education is making a very big impact.
But then lastly, I know you for 20 years, you speak at the same speed and you have the same passion. Are you still a digital nomad and how have you transformed or reinvented yourself?
No, not much at all. My areas of interest always have been innovation, creativity, knowledge management, these kinds of things. But I would say the big change today in India is the rise of the startup movement. There are places like co-working spaces where startups can come in, get a desk for reasonably cheap amount of money, and they get access to internet. They can meet people from all over the country, all over the world, who can come and exchange ideas with them on technology. All this is new. So I would say the startup ecosystem has changed a lot in the last 20 years. And we, people like you and me, people like me at least, have to continuously upskill and unlearn and relearn just to stay relevant.
True.
So a lot of my old ideas were about, for example, landline internet, cyber cafes. Today, everyone has their own phone. They don't need to go to a cyber cafe except maybe to print something or things of that sort. So the whole model has flipped completely. So we have to unlearn our old models of ICT for the access, all that, and come up with new models. So not throw out all the old knowledge, but morph it, adapt it, tweak it to be relevant in the new age. So becoming a lifelong learner is the only way to succeed in this day and era.
Thank you so much for this quick download of a whole lot of information at truly fast Madan speed. Fast, faster and faster.
Thank you. Speed. This is the age of speed. Thanks, Fred, and hats off to you as being one of the best, most loved and respected veteran IT journalists in this field.
Totally
Thank
untrue.
you, Fred.
Totally untrue. But